Hi, this is Rachel, and we're going to look at angles on parallel lines. So we have a question here. We have a pair of parallel lines, and I can see these because I have little arrows there. So when I have two lines with arrows on each one, that means they're parallel, which means that they are equidistant apart all the way along. And I have my bisecting line here. Okay, so I have angle of 61 degrees up here, and I have angle X here, and I'm being asked to find angle X. So I want to find that angle and give it a number. Now I can't directly go from angle of 61 up here to angle X here. There isn't a direct relationship between those two angles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go via a different angle. So I can calculate a different angle and then use my angles knowledge to find out what X is. So the one that I'm going to do, and there are a number of ways of doing this, so I'm going to do this one. So I've got an angle here. I'm going to call it angle A. Okay, so angle A is on a straight line with the angle of 61 degrees. So I've got my straight line with a line coming off it, 61 degrees there, and angle A there. Now I know that angles on a straight line add up to 180. So what I can do is say that I know that A plus 61 is 180, and therefore A is 180 minus 61, which, and I'm going to pop this in a calculator, 180 minus 61 is 119. Okay, so I know that angle A, this one here, is 119 degrees, and that is because angles on a straight line add up to 180. Okay, so now I've found that angle, how does that help me? Well, I can now use this and this to figure out what X is. So angle A and angle X are corresponding angles. So A and X are corresponding angles. And you may sometimes see this called an F angle, because we've got this F shape here, like that. So I'm looking at these two angles in that F. So those are corresponding angles. Now corresponding angles are equal. So I'm going to put that corresponding angles are equal. So A and X are corresponding angles and are equal. Therefore A equals X. Well, I know that A is 119 because I've just calculated that. Therefore X is also 119 degrees. So I mentioned that there were multiple ways to do this kind of question. So one other way I could do it is to look at this angle down here. And I'm going to do this in green so that we can see it as distinct from the blue. So I'm going to call this angle B. So I've got angles 61 and B, and as you can see these are also corresponding angles. So this time I've still got my F, but it's backwards, and that's absolutely fine. So I've got those two angles there, and so my reasoning is the same. I know that B is 61 degrees, and therefore I can find X because X and B are angles on a straight line. So this is kind of doing the same thing, just in the opposite order. So there's multiple ways we can go about this. I could also say that this angle C is a co-interior angle with 61, and co-interior angles add up to 180. So this co-interior angle means that C is 119, because I do 180 minus 61. And I can then see that C and X are vertically opposite angles, and vertically opposite angles are equal. So there are loads of different ways that I can do this type of question, and it's completely up to you which you choose. There is no correct answer, as long as we're using the correct terminology, such as corresponding angles, co-interior, etc.